What is up, everybody? Dak here, and in this episode I'm going to be finishing off the horn, as in adding this framework to the outside of it for extra bracing with the carrier handles built into it, and also coating it with this wrinkled black finish weatherproof stuff. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting this sheet here, which is a 2250mm by 600, which is almost big enough to cover the whole side, but not quite, so that's why another reason why I'm going with the framing. And I'm going to be cutting it into strips to form the kind of framework for this outside. So I'm just going to be setting the saw to 45 degree and going all the way down. So quite long cuts, but I should only need to do 2 or 3 before I can cover this whole thing, and then I'll still have plenty of wood left over for other projects. This will probably be another several day parter, as in I'm probably only going to get a couple cuts done today. So I'm going to go right ahead and start cutting this thing into strips. To explain why I'm no longer going with the laying a flat sheet on the side of it, as I was originally just going to put a 7mm sheet all across the side of it to increase it to about 1 inch thick. As you can see here, I have a sheet of corrugated iron. This can represent a flat sheet of wood. Now look what happens when I lift it up. You see that end stays flat and this end curves up. So yeah, it's not very rigid. But what happens when I put it at a perpendicular to its original direction? So now if I pick it up here, you can see that although it's wobbly, it only wants to curve to the side. It doesn't want to curve up and down, so it's got a lot more lateral strength than it had before. So just by turning it over, it's got a lot more lateral strength in the direction I want it. So that's why I'm going with thicker wood. Instead of just curving with the wood, when the base hits just like this, it'll stay much more rigid. I've finished cutting up the bits for the outside. I ended up doing about 2 inches across. I did 3 of these and 1 of 45 at both ends. Get this a bit more flush. There's about a 1mm gap, and and ideally with glue I'd want it to be completely flat. Also, I think this piece right here didn't come out that nicely because I couldn't use a fence to do this cut. You can see right there's a bit of a lump compared to the rest of it, which is pretty good. I still need to cut out one bit, which will be the handle, but I'll leave that till later, as I'll also need to get the belt sander out to round over the profile for the hand grips. I'm back, and if the clamps don't give it away, the front of the box is a bit thicker than it used to be, or at least on the sides. And that bit's a bit thinner, because as you can see, I've just about finished doing one of the sides. The other side's still gluing, but it's all clamped and screwed, so it's safe enough to run. As you can see right there. This side has been sanded and bogged, as you can see. I might need to do another layer of bog, but I'll do it when I do the other side's bog. And that's sand the top, front, back, sides. And all I've really got to do is get rid of this stuff in here, crusty stuff, before I'm able to paint it. So, but I'll have to finish sanding and bogging both sides before I paint the whole box. But yeah, that did exactly what I was wanting to do, which is get rid of that cancellation at about 100 Hertz. Yeah, doesn't flex at all. It's way more solid. You can hear that. That even sounds pretty dead. Also, depending on if I include that short clip just a second ago, that was at 0.5 watts and it was rattling the shed. So yes, this thing is still super impressive. It was audible up at the house. And I've had 100-watt subs down here, not just small like Sony home theater subs. And I don't think I could hear them up at the house. But this thing delivering solid thuds at that distance, very impressive. Well, tomorrow's a big day. Putting this thing in the Mazda and taking out the old box to do some mods. More content on the way. Just gonna do another demo of this thing now that I've got it turned around and I've got the shed a bit cleaner. Look, floor. And I feel like this will do. Hopefully it's audible. Also, I'd put mid-range in, except copyright and such. It's a pain in the ass. There's the grill for it, by the way. Also, see that blanket on top? Oh, rubber mat. I'll pull that down to show some excursion off. Hope the camera can hear it, but you can probably hear the shed rattling.